Hola, soy Nicola Pomponio, your host for the Ferrer Miranda webinar. Thank you for joining us. We are so excited to be able to virtually travel to Spain. Direct from Spain, we are live with the Freixenet CEO, Pedro Ferrer, Supervisor of Winemaking for Spain and Argentina, Javier Aladro, and Valdubon Winemaker, Gloria Diaz. Welcome, Pedro, Gloria, and Javier.
Pleasure to be here, Nicola. Thank you very much. It's well, first, welcome to Spain. We are very happy to have you here with us, and I'm my pleasure today is that to have here two very talented winemakers with me, and one is Javier Aladro. He's supervising the winemaking of all our wineries in Spain, plus the one in Argentina, and Gloria Diaz. She is in charge of Valdubon, and in a few moments we'll be explaining you much more about those two wonderful properties.
Hi, Nicola. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Gloria Diaz, and I'm from Mérida in the southwest of Spain. Since 2015, I have been working in Valdubon, and since this fantastic project began, Ferrer Miranda, I'm the winemaker.
Okay, it's my go. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to me to be here to have the chance of speaking about wines. I've been working with Pedro Ferrer for 17 years, before in Freixenet and now in Ferrer Miranda. After 16 years making red wine, now I have a new challenge is to have the opportunity to make white wine in Rías Baixas, in Alvarinho. It's a very, very, very exciting project for me. I hope you like it.
We love it, actually. It's a fantastic wine. Pedro, we have a lot of questions, so why don't we just jump right in? Pedro, tell us a little bit about Ferrer Miranda.
Okay, yes, Ferrer Miranda, also I'm CEO of Freixenet, so I'm with Freixenet, as you all know. I think many of you have known me for many years. I mean, I was watching just the names of you when you were getting connected. So hello, Ted and Ken and all the guys from the old Freixenet USA company. So, I'm with Freixenet, and now this is a new project. And I always say that is the two souls. Always, if you remember Bernd Halbach, he was for many years the export manager of Freixenet, and he was always telling me, Pedro, you have a problem in your life that you have like two souls. One soul is that you work for Freixenet, which Freixenet is a lovely company, a company created by my grandfather, my grandmother many years ago. It's wonderful, but Freixenet, as you know, is about focus. We love big volumes. We love actually huge volumes. We love to sell a lot. We love advertising. I mean, at the end, Freixenet is a consumer goods brand, which is fascinating. And the quality, of course, we love wine, and the quality of Freixenet is outstanding. But at the same time, he was telling me, you have a problem that you also love small plots of vineyard, you love small quantities of very special wines, you love wines made from a very specific vineyard. I mean, and that was not Freixenet. So in that sense, he was telling me you have two souls. You are divided. And this I always say. Now I have the opportunity to keep those two souls in peace, each one with the other. As you know, when Henkel came as a shareholder into Freixenet, into our company, Henkel, we had lots of discussions, but the main discussion was we want to focus very much into sparkling wine, Mioneto, Freixenet, Henkel. We are going to be #1 in the world for sparkling wine. I mean, we'll be selling almost 10% of all the sparkling wines in the world. So that's going to be the focus. So then the feeling was that some of the small wineries that Freixenet had acquired over the years, that were a little bit of a distraction. And then I told them, well, I would love to get distracted with them. I would love me personally to be able to take care of those properties because I mean, I just love the wines that we make there. And then that way, we had the opportunity, I had the opportunity to buy from Freixenet those properties. And we bought 3 properties in the best 3 areas of Spain. They call them the 3 R's. One of them is Rías Baixas, which is where we make Vionta. The second one is in a place called Ribera del Duero, is Valdubon. And the third one finally is in Rioja. That would be the third property. And finally, we also have a property in Argentina, but we are not going to talk about Argentina today. Today we are going to talk about Rías Baixas, Vionta, this white wine, and we are going to talk about Valdubon, about the red wine. As I was saying, this is a very extremely exciting project for me, because this is a project where we are in a restless way. We are going to be improving quality like every day. I always tell my people, I mean, whatever improvement you can do in the wineries that is for improving the quality, I mean, you have my approval right away, because we're about that. We are about, in a restless way, improving quality every day, making different wines every day, trying to find wines that reflect the terroir and that reflect the land the best possible way. We are about that. So today we talked about one of the wineries, Vionta, that's on the northwest corner of Spain, in a place called, in a wonderful area of Spain called Galicia. I always believe that wines somehow reflect, the character of the wines reflect the character of the land from where the wines are made. So for example, Galicia is on the Atlantic, so it rains a lot, it's very humid, it's very foggy, so it's a land like it's kind of mysterious. When you go there, it's always, most of the time, it's foggy, mysterious, and the wine reflects that. The wine is kind of, has like, it's a magical wine. It reflects that magic of the land. And the wine also, our winery there is like 2-3 kilometers away from the ocean. So even when you taste this wine, this white wine is a bit salty, so you can taste the ocean into the wine. And it reflects that spirit of that land of Galicia. And then the other wine that we are going to talk about is very different. I mean, they are both in Spain, but they are completely different, because Valdubon is in a place called Castile. Castile comes from castle, because it's a land with lots of castles, because in the Middle Ages, I mean, it was a land where constantly there were wars between the different kingdoms that Spain had. And the land is very continental, it's very high up, the elevation is very high. It's about, let's say, 1,000 meters, almost 1,000 meters, which would be almost like 3,000 feet. So it's very high, very continental. It would be like, let's say, like Colorado in the US, a very continental climate, very cold in the winter, very hot in the summers. And it's a land of strong people, and it's a rough land. And the wines, also the red wines from there, reflect that spirit of roughness, of a strong character, and you can taste it there. A lot of very strong character, very strong aromas, big body red wine, and those are the characteristics of those 2 wonderful wines. And then now Gloria and Javier will speak, and we'll talk about those 2 wines. So please go ahead.
Yeah, let's talk about the wines. Actually, let's go ahead and pour some wine. And Javier, why don't you tell us a little bit more in detail of Vionta? Pedro, that was a great explanation of both areas. Thank you so much. Javier, go into a little bit more detail for us.
Okay, to understand Rías Baixas and Vionta, we need 3 key points. The first one, as Pedro's talk, is the climate. The climate is 2 kilometers to the ocean, windy, foggy, low temperature, and very, very, very high humidity. It's next to impossible to spend 1 week there without rain. So the second point is the soil. The soil is very rich in organic material, rich in clay, and with a very, very good drainage. So these 2 points I made that we cultivate the vineyards in tall grapevines, for have two consequences. One of them is to avoid the bad consequences of the high humidity, and to reduce the force of the vineyard, because the vineyard there are really strong. And the 3 key points, it's of course the variety Albarino. Albarino with Verdejo are the most important white variety in Spain. Very aromatic wines, and Albarino is, in summary, a vineyard that produces a very small bunches with high acidity, good body, and medium high level of sugar, and of course very aromatic wines, very aromatic. And how we do Vionta with love, because there is very difficult to get a good wine for the high humidity. The harvest is at the beginning of September, 100% Tempranillo by hand in a small crate, and the fermentation takes a low temperature, no more than 12-13 degrees to maintain all the compound responsible for the aroma in the wine. And the point of this wine is after the fermentation. When the fermentation finishes, we clean the wine and we maintain the lees in contact in the vat. So we maintain the wine in contact with the lees for 5-6 months. For 5-6 months, it's a very long time. The objective is to increase the body, to balance the high acidity of this wine, giving to the wine more structure, making, if you want a wine to enjoy with shorter sip, with food, but it's necessary to balance the acidity to make this wine more drinkable. Let's taste the wine, Nicola.
Yeah, let's taste. Go ahead, please. Let's talk about the flavor profile, and also, why don't you tell me about a little bit what you think it pairs with? I know that in that part of the world, there's a lot of seafood going on. So tell us about what it pairs with the best.
I always say that the perfect pairing is the pairing that you prefer, of course. But in this case, we are speaking about a wine near to the ocean with incredible seafood, with shells. So the perfect pairing for me is with the typical seafood from this area. Is zamburiñas, navajas, is the food with shells. And in my case, I love rice. So the Vionta with a rice with seafood is an incredible feeling.
Fantastic. I can imagine what this is like with a seafood paella. Would go really fantastic. The wine itself is really a beautiful wine. When we're out selling the wine, I always tend to say, this is a wine that not only goes really well with, your entrees of seafood, but this is a fantastic wine to begin a meal with as well. Don't you agree?
If you imagine tasting this wine with seafood, you imagine tasting this wine with seafood in Vionta. It's an incredible experience. So let's taste the wine. So the color is clean, it's bright. You see, if you move gently the glass, you see the legs. That indicates that this wine is going to have a very big body, very big body. On the nose, it's a mixture of tropical fruit, melon, pineapple, mango. A part of this kind of fruit is possible to find peaches, apricots with a touch of citric, every kind of stone fruit. And a part of the fruity aroma, I want to underline the notes of yeast, biscuit, bread, all the aromas from the time in contact with the lees. And the most important point for me in this wine is of course, the palate. Note the high structure, The first impression is very refreshing with a good attack, good first impression, high acidity, but no aggressive, very well balanced with the time, with the rest of the structure and toughness. And the last sensation is very long and a bit bitterness at the end is typical of this variety.
Me gusta. I love that wine. It's fantastic. It's so fluid, so crisp, so bright. Just a really, really wonderful wine. And by the way, the bottle that Javier has in front of him, as well as Pedro, that's our new screw cap bottle that'll be coming out soon. We'll get you the exact vintage of when that will come out. Let's go ahead and move on. Javier, thank you so much for the descriptions. By the way, Pedro made a really interesting comment prior to starting. He said they actually used to grow like potatoes and different items underneath the vineyards because these vineyards are pretty tall. What's the height of the vine itself, Javier? You might say it in meters, but then we can translate it.
2 meters, let's say 2 meters.
2 meters.
About 2 meters of vines, yeah. And then the old farmers used
than a regular person, much higher than a regular person.
6 feet, a little bit more, no? 6, 7 feet.
7 feet, let's say 7 feet.
No,
well, let's move.
To pick up the grapes, people need a stair to pick up the grapes.
Step ladder, that's it. All right. Well, thank you, Javier. Let's move on to Gloria. Gloria, hi, Gloria, how are you?
Hi.
Let's talk about Valdubon. Tell us everything there is to know about the Valdubon Reserva and Ribera del Duero.
Okay, yes. First of all, Ribera del Duero is like a plateau with 4 valleys and the Duero River. The altitude, like Pedro said, is at 800 meters above sea level, and the vineyards are a good orientation to take the maximum profit from sunshine hours. The soil is very poor, is with low concentration on organic material and high concentration of limestone. But the soil has 2 layers, two kinds of texture. The first layer is sandy and the second is clay, and this is perfect because allows the rainwater to draw out and keep the humidity near to the roots. The climate is Mediterranean, and like Pedro says, the summer is very dry, and the winter is very, very cold. Some days the temperature is 15 below 0, and the most danger in Ribera is the frost. And the 98% of grapes variety is Tempranillo o Tinta del País, but Ribera has another variety, is Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Garnacha, and Malbec. But if your wine is into the appellation, like Valdubon, every bottle has at least 85% of Tempranillo in every bottle. Okay, so it's very important to Valdubon take care the vineyards to obtain wines with a high quality. To make Valdubon Reserva, the vineyards are over 30 years old. Okay, so we control the production to obtain no more than 7 bunches per vine. So this is the way to obtain grapes with high concentration of sugar and high levels of phenols. So during the fermentation, it's very important to control the temperature. During alcoholic fermentation is between 26, 28 degrees, and pump over the wine to obtain all the tannics and high levels of color, because this wine you then after that you put into the barrels, and you need a strong wine. So after 20 to 22 days, yes, it's time to rack off the wine and the malolactic start. So when this process finishes, we put the wine into the barrels. To make Valdubon Reserva, we use 50% American oak and 50 French oak, and the wine is into the barrel at least 12 months, and the rest of the time to 3 years is bottled. So we have to taste in Valdubon Reserva with 100% of Tempranillo and at least 12 months in barrel. Okay, go to the tasting.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's taste this wine. They also call Tempranillo Tinta del País. Is that correct?
Yeah, Tinta del País. Yes.
Why is that? I'm just curious.
Why?
Well, in Spain, you know, Nicola, in Spain, Tempranillo is in most regions of Spain, we have Tempranillo, but the name is different region. I mean, I don't know why, but is region by region is it has a different name. In Catalonia, for example, has some name, very complicated name, is called Ulls de Llebre. In Rioja, the name Tempranillo is from Rioja, and Rioja being the better known area. That's why most people know Tempranillo as Tempranillo, because that's the name in Rioja. And then in Ribera del Duero is Tinta Fina, and then you go to La Mancha. In La Mancha they also have Tempranillo, but they call it Cencibel there.
Wow. Okay, so it's very similar.
Same variety, but it has a different name in each region. I don't know. It's complicated.
That's great. That's great to know. That's great to know. Okay, go ahead, Gloria. I'm sorry. Tell me a little bit about the flavor profile.
Yeah. In the glass, the color is deep garnet. It's very intensive. Okay. On the nose, I smell ripe fruit like plums. Very little spicy. Vanilla, coconut. This wine is very complex. We recommend to decanter 30 minutes before. Okay. And on the palate, it's full body, velvet. You can you have to know, you should to feel the tannins in the mouth, but it's very soft, okay, with acidity balance. It's very complex. You need a lot of time to taste it slowly.
What would you pair the Valdubon Reserva with?
I think this wine needs meat. In Castilla y León, we have baby lambs, for example, or black pudding is typical of Spain and Castilla y León. But in the winery, we do a visit and pair the Reserva with chocolates. So you enjoy a meal, you reserve or you keep in the glass a little bit of wine to pair with chocolate, with the dessert.
Great. Javier and Gloria gave really amazing tidbits on both the wine. I hope everyone wrote down, there was some really interesting information. I mean, just the age of the vines at at the winery in Ribera, 30 years old. That's fantastic. That's a great tidbit to use for selling. Fantastic. Anything else you'd like to add, Gloria, to the Valdubon Reserva? Or if not, we can move on to some questions.
I don't know. Yes. Okay, the question.
Let's go ahead. Let's move into some questions. Perfect.
Mhm.
So I believe, Javier, you might have already answered this. Someone asked about when is the typical harvest done for Albarreño? And we might as well know when the typical harvest is done for the Tempranillo as well.
In Albarreño, typically it's early September, year by year, the harvest start before. I suppose this year, the last week in August, we will be harvesting. It's a big problem, the climate change.
Okay.
And Ribera?
And Ribera? Gloria?
In Ribera at the beginning of October, but it's more common in the middle, in 10 on October, more or less.
And sometimes Ribera can go into November.
Ribera is the last harvest in Spain.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The another question we have, and you actually answered the 30-year-old vines, but is the age of the vines? What are between the two estates? What are the oldest vines? Is 30 years basically the oldest vines for the properties?
We have all their vines in Ribera del Duero. From a technical point of view, I think it's more important the age in red wine. As Gloria told, for Reserva, we use grape from more than 30 years old vineyards. And we have another type of wine, it's Valdubon 10 and Honoris, that we use grape from more than 60 years old vineyards.
Okay, great. Is the Reserva made every year? And is it how do you select the grapes for the Reserva?
No make the Reserva every day, every years. Depend of the weather, the frost. And for example, in 2013, the harvest was very hard because there was rainfall. So the grapes was ill with a disease and didn't make the Reserva.
Okay, great. So I can't believe our 30 minutes actually has come and gone. We do have a couple more questions. So if you do have to leave, viewers, please thank you for joining us. We're going to just ask a few more questions and then we're going to go into the close. Another question that we had is, Javier, on the label of the Vionta, what is the cutout on the label?
The name is here. The winery is here in this position, and from the winery you see a big island, and just at the back of this island is a small island. Is Vionta, and the shape of this island is the shape that you can see on the label. It's a small island.
Oh, okay, great, excellent. That was a question we had from our gallery. The actual word Valdubon, does it have a meaning, Gloria?
Valdubon is Valley of Ubon. Is a valley near to the winery, and Ubon, I think now, Javier, is dry. Actually, yeah, it's a little river, but now is dry. And the logo, okay, this is the logo of Valdubon. This is a medieval bridge. It's located in Milagros, okay, and this is a Spanish oak.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to go ahead and send it off to Pedro for the close. Gloria, Javier, I want to say thank you so much for your time and for all of the information, the technical information. I can really see your passion in making these wines. I know this is a family affair. Pedro, Gloria, Javier, thank you so much. Gloria, if you'd like to say a couple words, then Javier, and then we can finish up with Pedro.
Oh, it's my part is thank you for your time. It has been a pleasure. Next time we can taste Vionta in the winery that is a very paradise there. So all of you are invited to spend some time in our land and visit Vionta and taste our wines with our food there. Okay, so you will be welcome in Vionta when you want.
Gloria?
And for me, it's always it's the same in Valdubon. I hope to see you, all of them, in Valdubon to enjoy the vines and the wines. And it's a pleasure for me stay here.
Pedro?
Well, no, I want to thank you for your attention, and thank you for your support, and thank you for how are you helping us to develop those brands in a market as important and as difficult, because it's a very difficult market where everybody wants to sell like the US. But I think you are doing a great job, and I'm sure that you will do much better. And yes, we hope to see you soon. I hope to see all of you soon hoping it's in the US. And if not, as Javier and Gloria were saying, you are more than welcome in our wineries, and we can assure you that you will have a great time visiting our wineries, that you will really enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Muchas gracias, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much. Salud.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Good. Bye.